Hi, first graders. In math, we've been talking about multiples of 10 and subtracting them from two-digit numbers. So what does it mean to subtract? When we subtract, we take away. So subtraction means that when we take away a number, the difference or the answer to a subtraction problem is usually going to be less than the first number you're subtracting from. So our I can statement I would like to read together, and I would love for you to repeat it back after Miss Dominic reads it. I can subtract multiples of 10 from a two-digit number. I can subtract multiples of 10 from a two-digit number. All right, before we start doing it, I want to go over how to draw base 10 symbols because we are going to be using base 10 symbols to help us subtract instead of using base 10 blocks. So you're going to have to remember how you draw a base 10 symbol. Now, if we're subtracting multiples of 10, are we going to need any ones today? We will not because we're only using tens. So just to quickly review, this is how we draw a 10 using base 10 symbols. It's just one line going down. Remember, we don't make a 10 like this because this takes way too long. We can just look at our base 10 here and know that it has 10 ones in it, so it's the same thing as 10. All right, so we've been talking a lot about subtracting, and we've been doing it going from side to side. We are now going to subtract going up and down. That way we can line up the ones in the ones place and the tens in the tens place. So if I kind of drew my imaginary line, I would know that on the right side it's going to be my ones and on the left side it's going to be my tens. So some of you are going to be able to just look going down and subtract, so you know 0 minus 0 means it equals 0, and you could subtract the 10 side too. But today I really want us to practice using base 10 symbols. So when we subtract using base 10 symbols, we have to draw out the first number in our problem. If we look at the problem, our first number is what? It is 70. So I have to draw 70 using base 10 symbols. So can you count with me? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. All right. Now that we have our first number, we need to figure out what we need to subtract from 70. Our problem reads 70 minus 40, and we have to figure out what is left over or what is the difference. We can do this by crossing out, or you could erase. I'm going to choose to cross out. So I need to cross out how many? I need to cross out 40 because 40 is the number we are subtracting from 70. Would you like to count with me? 10, 20, 30, 40. It is good practice to circle what's left. That way you make sure you don't forget anything that gets left behind. I see I have 3 tens, and I can also count by tens to figure out how many are left. 10, 20, 30. So I'm going to put 3 and 0. So if we didn't use the base 10 symbols, we can see 0 minus 0. We know that equals 0. And we could also do 7 minus 4 because we're subtracting the 10 side. What is 7 minus 4? It's 3. That means 70 minus 40 equals 30. You are going to be using base 10 symbols to solve subtraction problems in your Seesaw page. So it's very similar to what I just showed you, but it looks a little bit different. So you have your subtraction problem on the star, and you will draw your base 10 symbols in the rectangle. You can use your drawing tool or your pencil tool to solve. So once you draw the first number in your subtraction problem, you can take away the second number by either using the eraser tool or by crossing out with a different color. You're going to have 10 slides to complete, and when you're all finished, hit that green check button so I can see your work. Have fun, first grade, and again, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you need any help. I'm here to help you.